BookTube Nation, I'm Sam here again with A Bear and a Bee Books, and today I'm really excited to bring you my Jane Austen July TBR. Jane Austen July is hosted by Katie from Books and Things and Marissa from Blatantly Bookish. I will link both of their channels down below for you. I'm sure you're already subscribed to those lovely ladies, but if you're not, definitely go check them out because they're amazing. And if you love classics, you should definitely be subscribed to their channels. Jane Austen July is probably one of my favorite reading months of the year. I'm going to read predominantly all Austen or Austen related book challenges. For this month, there will be one or two other things I'm working on, but like things I'm finishing up from last month, and one buddy read, which I'll mention at the end of this video because I'm not going to film a separate TBR for July. So this will be my July TBR. And I just want to wish that everybody is taking care of themselves and having a nice summer so far, as much as you can given the current circumstances. Okay, so challenge number one. I love the challenges for this readathon too. I think they're almost always the same, and I just think they're wonderful and delightful, and I hope that they stay the same for years to come. So anyway, so the books that I'm planning to read for the first one, I probably will not get through all of these. I've been reading less than I was, but I'm really excited, so we'll see. So the first challenge of Jane Austen July is to read one of Jane Austen's major 6 novels. So of those, I'm planning on attacking 2. Now, I've read both Persuasion and Northanger Abbey already, and a lot of Mansfield Park, but I haven't finished it. But this year, I'm gonna focus on Sense and Sensibility, and these are my new beautiful editions I received. I will probably be doing like a birthday book haul soon where I'll show you the editions in more detail, but I love these. I'm really excited to read this. This is another one that I had started reading like online, and I read a couple of the first chapters and give or take, and I was really enjoying it. I don't have a sister, but I have a brother, and Katie mentioned that this was more about like sibling relationships, so I'm excited to read this one. I love one of the adaptations, and yeah, I'm really excited to get to this one. So this is the one I'm gonna read in the like first half of the month. I know they're doing a read along for Emma and for Pride and Prejudice. I'm going to be participating in the Pride and Prejudice read along. So I had personally for myself 3 classics that I really wanted to get to this year, not because like I don't feel like I don't turn to classics or whatever, but more because I don't usually read like overly hyped books. It takes me a while to get to them, obviously. These books have been around for a while. But yeah, I've never read Pride and Prejudice, but I have read Lady Susan, Persuasion, and Northanger Abbey by Jane Austen. So it's time I got to the Mac Daddy of them all. I'll link that video down below, but I also wanted to read Jane Eyre, which I've done, and Great Expectations. So hopefully I'll get to that Dickens before the end of the year. But anyway, I'm really excited to get to this. I've read the beginning of this probably a lot of times. I just love the way it starts out. It gives me all those warm and fuzzies, but for some reason I've never read the novel in full. So it's gonna happen. It's gonna be this year. It's gonna happen. So I believe in the list of challenges, the next one is to read something by Jane Austen other than one of her major 6 novels. So last year I read Lady Susan, which I highly recommend. I really enjoyed it. But this year I'm going to read Sanditon, and the beginning of this is by Jane Austen herself, but then I bought the edition that was completed by another lady, I think in the 1970s. And I've heard some mixed reviews about this, but I'm really curious. I enjoy modern classics a lot, so I'm hoping that the style of this will fit my taste. I believe this one takes place at a seaside town, and yeah, I'm really excited to give this one a shot. Okay, and then I believe the next challenge was to read a nonfiction. Now, I think out of all the challenges last year, this is one I didn't get to. Sometimes I love nonfiction, but I'm really picky about nonfiction. Maybe I shouldn't be. I would much rather read an article than read a whole book if it's not something that's going to really gel with me. But like I enjoy like nature nonfiction, and one of my favorite books ever was a nonfiction book set in Africa about a preserve. So there are books that are for me. I just probably haven't stumbled across the correct ones yet. So I'm working on my nonfiction journey. This one, I believe Marissa mentioned it too, but I know Katie did, and I know she really loves this author. And this is Jane Austen at Home, a biography by Lucy Worsley. I have an affinity for architecture in particular. When I was a child, my father used to work on old homes a lot, specifically like homes over 100 years old was kind of what he told me his specialty was. And there was a house that had been in my family for probably close to 100 years. And I was born in a very old city, so well, for America anyway, I grew up really appreciating different types of architecture. And though I never really studied it at school or when I went to college, I really enjoy it. So this kind of appeals to me because it's based on like places that she lived, like the actual buildings. From what I gathered, and I read like the first couple of sentences, and I enjoyed the writing style from the little bit that I checked out, so I'm hoping this is going to be a good one. Next, so this was hard for me because the Pride and Prejudice read along is the second half of the month. Well, I was going to read, I think it's Longbourn. I'll put a picture of it right here. But yeah, I don't want to read that until I've read Pride and Prejudice, and since that's the second half of the month, that didn't really work. So I was looking for another Jane Austen retelling that wasn't based on Pride and Prejudice, which is harder than you would think. So, but I happen to have this on my shelves. This is For the Darkness Shows the Stars by Diana Peterfeund, and I've had this for a while, and I have the other one. I think the second book is based on the Scarlet Pimpernel. I could be wrong, but anyway, this one I've heard is a Persuasion reimagining, retelling, and Persuasion was my first Austen, and it holds a special place in my heart. I'm sure that most people's first Austens do hold a special place in their hearts, but I also listen to it a lot when I'm not feeling well on audiobook, and so I really love the story now. The more I listen to it and the more I'm exposed to like the adaptations, the more I love it. So I'm hoping this is good. It's like a YA sci-fi retelling of Persuasion. Okay, and the next challenge is to read a contemporary of Austen. Last year I read Adeline Mowbray, or I think it's also called The Mother and the Daughter. I'll leave a link down below for my wrap up from last year because that was probably one of my favorite books of the year. I still think about that book. I will say that the character development in it isn't as fleshed out as Jane Austen, but if you enjoy like a study on marriage or like a study on like the current like social climate and stuff like that, I just thought it was fabulous. I absolutely loved it, and I would highly recommend it for this challenge. But this year I picked up two of Frances Burney's books, and so I picked up both Cecilia and Evalina. I am more interested in this, but it's ginormous. So I also bought this one, which is slightly less ginormous. So yeah, so we'll see how my month goes. I'm not sure which one I'm gonna attempt yet, but yeah. Also, I do like these editions. I feel like they're substantial and I feel like the paper quality is good, but I will say that I prefer to read classics without notes because I'm kind of one of those people that if it's in the book, I feel like I have to read it, and I don't always want to. So I will read the notes and the introduction and all that stuff at the end now because I don't want spoilers, but sometimes I don't even want to feel like I have to read the notes. So I wish that there were more editions out there that didn't have all the extra academic stuff in it, because I just want to experience the book as people back in Austen's time would have experienced it. And so those are all my Austen books. I'm really excited. I want to thank Marissa and Katie for putting this on. It's something that I know a lot of us in the community look forward to. I'm so excited. I did want to mention real quick that I also have a buddy read planned for this month. I've been getting into thrillers, and my mom also likes thrillers, and so we're gonna read The Last Flight by Julie Clark together. And yeah, so I just wanted to mention that because it will also be part of my July reading plans. So that's all I have here for you today. If you are participating in Jane Austen July, please let me know down below, and let me know which of Austen's 6 novels that you'll be reading. I'm definitely, I could get through them fairly quickly if I wanted to, but I really feel like I want to savor them over my lifetime. It's just nice knowing that they're still out there for me to experience. So I don't know if that's silly, maybe that's silly, but yeah, I'm excited and I'm looking forward to it, and I can't wait to finally read Pride and Prejudice. It's a story I've grown up loving, but I've never actually read the original text, so we'll see how that goes. Anyway, I hope that everyone's doing well and trying to keep cool if you're in a hot place like I am. It's really hot this year so far. Like, we had a nice spring actually, but summer is ridiculous hot already, to the point where I don't even really want to go outside. So yeah, thanks so much for being here with me today. Farewell for now. Bye-bye.